Right, we now come to the 10-minute rule motion. Esther McVey.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that leave be given to bring in a bill to introduce compulsory labelling of halal and kosher meat and products containing halal and kosher meat and for connected purposes. Mr. Speaker, this is a bill about animal welfare, transparency in meat production and consumer choice. It does not seek to ban halal or kosher meat, it seeks to ensure they are clearly labelled. It is important consumers have such information so they can make an informed choice about what they are buying. And currently, consumers do not have that information, and many are purchasing and consuming halal and kosher meat without their knowledge and without their agreement. The unique process of halal and kosher meat requires the animal to have its throat slit. In the case of halal meat, the animal is often stunned before it's killed, although it might not be, and for the shahita killing, for kosher meat, there is no pre-stunning. This lack of stunning causes the animal to experience severe pain. An individual concerned about animal welfare would want to know if an animal has been stunned prior to slaughter. Likewise, there are many religious groups who want to know what they are consuming too, and if meat has been blessed by another religion. In all these cases, clear labelling is essential to make an informed choice. Currently, the legislation that regulates animal slaughter is set out in assimilated EU Regulation 1099/2009 on the protection of animals at the time of killing, as well as in the welfare of animals at the time of killing, England Regulations 2015. Under these laws, animals must be stunned before killing, but exemptions exist for killing without stunning, in accordance with specific religious rites. Added to that, there are currently no requirements for such meat to be labelled. And what was once an exemption to the accepted stunning process of animals has become a growing part of the UK's meat market. The government's own figures show that of the 1.035 billion animals processed in English and Welsh slaughterhouses in 2024, an estimated 214.6 million were slaughtered to produce halal meat. The analysis shows the total meat supplied by non-stun slaughter is about 4 times greater than the population of Muslims and Jews in the UK. So while government guidance is clear that non-stun slaughter must be intended for consumption by Jews or Muslims, production is clearly going way beyond that. So much so, the UK is now exporting halal meat abroad. Between 2018 and 19, there was an almost 700% increase in the volume of sheep meat exported to the UEA, all of which is required to be halal. Clearly, without compulsory labelling of non-stun meat, slaughterhouses have gone down the route of producing more of it. In effect, a 2-tier system has been created, one in which some slaughterhouses comply by stunning laws and one in which others don't, citing the religious exemption, without ever intending to focus their sale on that market. Unfortunately, a driver of this market of non-stun meat is that a step of the process is removed, meaning this meat production becomes cheaper. Supermarkets and food outlets can produce this cheaper meat without ever declaring it to the consumer, and this is not what was intended by legislation. We have seen many examples of this over the last 15 years. Britain's biggest retailers, such as Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Marks and Spencer's and Asda, have sold halal or kosher meat without informing the consumer, as well as places like Domino's, Pizza Hut and KFC. And non-stunned produce is being used by 17 local councils in schools, the majority of which are not Islamic faith schools, without parents or children having the first idea about it, as well as it also being served in hospitals and in local councils. So in December, when Labour put forward its much vaunted animal welfare strategy, a document lauded with the aim of preventing animals suffering unnecessarily, which included the banning of boiling of live lobsters, banning the use of carbon dioxide to stun pigs, and steps to ensure the more humane slaughter of farmed fish, I was surprised and alarmed to see no mention of the more humane slaughter of animals and the labelling of halal and kosher meat. There was a clear opportunity to call for this labelling of halal and kosher meat, and it was missed. Nowhere in Labour's 12,500-word animal welfare strategy was it mentioned. We often hear in the House that the UK holds the status of a world leader in animal welfare, but such a glaring gap shows this country can no longer make such a claim. Food for You Too, which is a biannual official statistics survey commissioned by the Food Standards Agency, found in 2024 that the most common spontaneously expressed food concern was food production method, and in August 2022 the government's call for evidence on labelling for animal welfare found that almost 99% of respondents said method of slaughter labelling should be introduced. Absolutely. Research from the Agriculture and Horticultural Development Board shows that clear halal certification is stated as important for 92% of halal consumers. So isn't it time we updated our regulations and demanded our meat was clearly and fully labelled so we know what we're buying and eating? Surely that is what consumer choice is all about, and I would wager that the overwhelming majority of animal lovers in the UK expect the House of Commons to support this bill today. Mr. Speaker, this bill will provide that assurance to all consumers that they know how their meat was produced, and I would urge all members of this House to support this measure.
That the Right Honourable Member have leave to bring in the bill. The question is, the Right Honourable Member have leave to bring in the bill. As many of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Who will prepare to bring in the bill?
Sir Roger Gale, Alberta Costa, Dame Karen Bradley, Sir Edward Lee, Graham Stringer, Rupert Lowe, Sammy Wilson, Jim Allister, Lee Anderson, Sarah Pochin and myself.
Yeah, very good. Esther McVey.
Food labelling, halal and kosher meat bill.
Second reading what day?
10th of July.
10th of July.